Yeah, yeah, fall back too close, you ain't even
Women, that's what you've been doing here. The biggest thing I overcome every day, fighting the urge to pack it all in. You don't think you're good enough to do it. That's why I work so hard. There's a ton of liars out there.
Don't come around to me, better come correct different lives that we lead. I'm in a Nike check in a bag of Louis V.
So we are on the way to pick up Dan the Man Smith, and I've invited him over to my home, which I've never actually done for anybody else other than Ollie, my great cameraman. The reason being is because I see a lot of myself in him. I see a lot of potential. I see someone who is willing to work hard and willing to do the hard yards. I want to shake his hand. I know he came to Dublin, but I want to help him. I want to guide him. I want to mentor him in a way that I wish I was mentored at 21, 22 years of age. It took me a long time to learn the skills. It took me a long time to figure out what path to take in life. My goal for the next generation is to give them the education, is to give them the skills, is to give them the confidence in themselves to take on the world. He is getting the royal treatment. We're actually physically going to pick him up rather than getting him an Uber. Today we're going to coach, we're going to train, we're going to have coffee, we're going to have a lovely hug and a kiss and a cuddle. So I'm excited to bring you along for the ride. I'm excited to show you what we got in store today. What's going on? You alive? Was it? Was it bad? Chasing women around, that's what we've been doing here before. I said that to Ollie. This is my home, buddy. You're the first person that has ever been invited into my home. Can you imagine that? Into the King's Right house. So we are with Dan the Man Smith, and we're in my home. I don't ever invite anybody to my home. So for me to invite Dan, that means I actually want to spend time with him. And I also want to say, you know, a massive well done for you. Everything that you're doing, everything that you want to do, and everything that you will do moving forward. If I had somebody who is 10 years on in the business like I am compared to where you are, like 20, 21 years of age, you know, I probably would have saved myself a ton of problems and a ton of pain and a ton of issues. So let's go back to like when you decided that you were going to be in sales. Like, when was that?
So that was November, October last year. So basically I was working on the building site up until that point. Quit university. I was like, yeah, try this. I've tried e-com, I've tried agencies, I've tried all that good stuff. So I was like, screw it, let's try something else.
So for you to become in sales, make good money, you know, start to build your future, how many people from the place that you come from are in a position to do that?
None, really.
Sure. And it's like, if you don't change your environment and you don't, you know, challenge yourself, you know, to get more and do more, you'll only ever get what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you don't want that, then it makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So talk to me about the sales. Like, when you walked into sales, did you find it easy? Did you find it hard? Like, what was the first couple of months like for you?
So I was role playing for like the first month, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So like, if I watch back my old role play calls, they're like, what's going on? Yeah. And then a month in, I'm getting told to like DM offer owners and stuff like that and get on an offer. And I was DM setting outbound for like 2-3 months. Yeah. Outbound cold DM setting for like a small agency. I made like £1,500 maybe across 2-3 months. So it was terrible. Sure. And then I found another program. I did that for a little bit, but then I was like, this still isn't enough. Like, all he's teaching me is networking, not learning actually how to, you know, put the ball in the back of the net, I guess you could say. And then I found you guys in like November through networking with other people in the box. Right. So.
And then you joined, when did you join?
Family in January.
Family in January. So talk to us, when you hit January, what was the big difference that you were learning with us that you weren't learning anywhere else?
Just that the skill was the most important thing. You know, like going through it all, learning the whole process, objections, obviously. But I think everyone just thinks the whole process is easy, not just objections. So like, even when I go to my offer now, I role play with people, even if it's North Star, future-based, cost of an action.
Yeah.
They're bad at that as well. You know, it's not just like an objection problem, it's like the whole call problem, in my opinion. So just learning the whole process, including objections, obviously changed fucking everything.
So when you started with us, like what were you making on a monthly basis?
I think in December I did like $1,800.
Where is it at now? What have you made last month?
Last month was 17.5K.
So you've gone from 1,800 in January to 17.5 in May?
Yeah.
So what's that, 6 months?
Yeah.
Sure. And an awful lot of that is hard work. It can't be replaced. You know, an awful lot of that is doing the right stuff every day, you know. But one thing that I noticed with you, Dan, is that it's the consistency. Where does that come from? Where do you feel that you've kind of like worked on the consistency? Because most people will make money, will literally 10x their income, and then they'll start to do stupid shit. Why are you still going?
So I thought about it from Dublin, actually, when we were speaking about that.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I was kind of like trying to find why I've got an internal driver to be the best, I guess you could say. And it probably comes from quitting football when I was younger.
Right.
So, like, my parents fucking like distraught that I quit football because I was good, academies and things like that. And then I just didn't want to do it. So I felt like guilty to them. So it's like, I've still got to be the best at something, whether that's football, whether that's basketball, whether that's sales now.
Yeah.
Whatever I try and do, because the guilt is kind of there. I want to be the best in this.
Just to be able to give back to them, or like, what do you mean?
Yeah, in a sense, give back. Obviously, I want to make their lives better as well.
Yeah.
But also, like, give back to them on the feeling. You know, like, if I was viewed as some sort of like golden child that's meant to be like someone in the family to do something better, then I feel like I've still got to live up to that, whether it's in sales or whatever I do.
A lot of people come and they want to have the goal of taking care of their parents, and they want to take care of their siblings and stuff like that. Why do you feel that is for you? Like, what is the driver behind that?
Honestly, it's because I know if I don't do it, then my family will just still be in this hamster wheel. I mean, if you look back at the generation, they'll still be on the same hamster wheel of like building site, cook, rent, council housing, all of these things. They'll be in that cycle if I don't do it. So that's probably why.
So how can I help you do all that? Like, what is the goal for me? I know we're going to get into it a little bit later on, but just 10,000 view picture of it. What does that look like?
I mean, I need to obviously keep working on my skill, because even though I'm like better than some people in some sense with my skill, it's still probably like, if you see like what you, Nick and James can do, it's like probably a 5, 6 out of 10. You know, and you guys are like 10, 9 out of 10. So it's like, get that skill level up to that level. I do want to actually eventually become a coach in some sense. 'Cause like where I look at my North Star, like the way I want to do it, is probably where Nick is in a sense. So like coaching, consulting, still selling.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the 3 things I want to be able to do that on, because that's probably what I'll have most pride in.
People ask me all the time, they say like, why do you keep pushing the guys? Why do you keep like, you know, getting the guys on? Because I'll tell you, it's because it's the right thing to do. You know, I never wanted the objection box, or I never wanted my platform to just be about what can I get out of it. My platform was always about giving back to all of you guys, you know, making sure that you guys can get what you want out of it. And Nicky and Jimmy, they're the exact same. Jack, Kieran, they're all the exact same. All of my guys, all of the, you know, ex-coaches we've had or ex-workers we've had, there's nobody that is in a worse position from working with me and all of the stuff, and that makes me very proud. You know, you look at all the people that came in, worked in the objection box and left. Most of them, if not all of them, are in a better place now. You know, and it comes down to a couple of things. It comes down to the standards that I hold and expect from everybody, but the most important thing is the skill set, and it's the desire to keep getting better and pushing, you know.
Yeah.
That's the big key. Guys, firstly, I'm going to get back to the video in about 25 seconds, but the first thing I want you to do is like, subscribe, and comment on this video. We appreciate it. It's helping us dictate and actually direct what the videos need to be for all of you guys, so you learn, that you earn, and that you're actually thriving in your sales career. What I'm going to do for the rest of this video is I'm going to sit down with Danny Boy, and just briefly go through a couple of things. Now, we did do, hours of breaking this down, but I just wanted you to see something broken down for your own understanding. See, a lot of you guys get it confused. A lot of you guys get it all mixed up. It's a very, very simple process, the sales gig. So listen, learn, and apply. And to be quite frank and honest, if you can't sit down for 15-20 minutes and learn and listen to someone who has done millions of dollars in sales from my own business, for my own self, personally, then it's not going to fucking work out for you. So again, like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you like, let us know what you don't like, let us know what you want more of. So again, I appreciate you guys. A big, big, big love and respect for you all. And again, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the end of this video. Cheers. Bye-bye.
The first question I do have is, it's more so about the space in general when people kind of jump into coaching straight away or sales managing straight away. Like, when do you feel personally you have the right to do that, in a sense? Like, when you actually can take that burden, because you're essentially looking at other people, right? It's a bit like taking the call. Yeah,
it's a concept of, like, I think a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons, firstly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people aren't actually good coaches, secondly. And I think a lot of people are doing it because they don't want to do the hard yards of being on calls every day. And don't get me wrong, there's a tremendous amount of money to be made from coaching. But if you want to coach because you want to make money, I think it's wrong. Yeah. It has to be coming from a concept of wanting to help and, want people to be better.
Yeah.
And because at the end of the day, you are responsible for their outcome.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a tremendous amount of input, but it's about their outcome is reliant on how well you train and coach and lead that people. So I always tell people, like, if you're not where you want to be yourself, if you're not, at a standard where people want to get behind, then it's going to be very, very hard to coach and lead people to a place that you've not been.
Yeah.
But also, like, just because you're a good salesperson doesn't mean that you're going to be a good coach.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it's all specific to the actual individual, and it's all specific to what does that person actually want out of it. Do they want to just make money, or do they actually want to help people?
Yeah.
Why do you ask that question? It's a better question.
I actually do want to help people. So why I ask it is because obviously I feel like, I think people get into it too early. They're like, oh yeah, I can coach because I make 10K a month. I don't think that's right. I want to know, like, when do you know you can go into that? Because I'm helping people on offer now, like doing role plays, like giving them advice, doing that sort of stuff. And they message me, oh, like, I closed the deal after doing that and things like that. And it's like, you get a lot of, like, the sense of joy when that comes. But are you in a spot where you can, like, take on the responsibility of coaching, like, 5, 10, 15, 20 people? Or even just one-on-one,
I always say to myself, like, if you can't take information and innovate it, which makes it better, put your own spin on it. If you're just regurgitating someone else's education that you took, it's all a waste of time. Like, we have it all the time with people, as you know, that take our information and then change 2% of it. Instead of saying D, they say de.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not it, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, take a concept and actually rebuild it from scratch. That's how you know you're a good coach. And I think, like, a lot of people, get found out. A lot of people will get found out. A lot of people, can't sustain it because it's hard. Like, it's hard to keep producing great results. And the big thing for you is, like, it's like you get a lot from helping people. You know, you get a lot from giving back to people. You get a lot from, giving people good information that they can take care of themselves with. So it's addictive. It's very addictive, because the hardest thing that salespeople have is, how do they keep going with the hunger? How do they keep going with the same kind of work ethic?
Yeah.
How do they keep going, day after day, hour after hour, keep turning up and putting in the hours to get, where they want to go at 20 years of age? Where some people will look at it and be like, if I put the hour in and I coach, a school group, for argument's sake, of 20 people, and I do 3 hours a week, and I'm charging them all $500 or $1,000, I can make that money. But will it be backed up by a consistency? See, a lot of people jump into sales and they coach early beginners.
Yeah.
When you're an early beginner, you don't know anything. You're just hoping, wishing, praying. You have, loyalty to whatever you see, and it's a case of, if you catch people early like that, you know, you can make a lot of money. But I always tell people, like, if you're not innovating and if you can't create anything better, I don't think you should be coaching in any way, shape, or form. You know, anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the key. Now, there's nothing wrong with, you know, helping somebody out and, you know, giving them some pointers and some tips and stuff like that. But if you can't articulate why you're doing something to the finest detail,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should be coaching, you know, and that's just straight up.
Yeah.
But always a big thing for me is, can you innovate something? Can you make it better? Can you, you know, take information and crystallize it and, you know, make it sharper?
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But there's a lot, like I always tell people, like, if you truly want to coach and you truly want to get better, by all means do it. But I always tell people, like, people want to coach for the wrong reasons. People want to coach because it's easier.
Yeah.
It's not easier, you know. There's a doing the same thing for 2 years straight, and before that I did it for 18 months straight. You know, it's the same with, like, a lot of people are constantly trying to innovate and innovate and innovate. They're not. They're just trying to make a new spin of the same shit that they've been regurgitating for X amount of time. Yeah. If it's truly great, you don't need to innovate it too far off what it is.
Yeah.
So you look at things like McDonald's, you look at things like Rolexes, you look at things like Porsches. The essence of it is the exact same. You know what I mean? But yet you can put a little bit of spice on it.
Yeah.
What I think people should always look at is how many times in a 12-month, 18-month period is someone respinning their business.
Yeah.
So for argument's sake, high-level masterminding. Then it's low-ticket school offers. Then it's, you know, doing in-person meetups for 4 weeks at a time, or it's like, no, I'm consulting. It's like they're constantly trying to get something to catch fire.
Yeah.
Because nothing catches fire, because they've never created anything or they've never innovated anything.
Yeah.
You know, so talk to me about the skill sets. Talk to me about where you need to zone in on.
Skill sets. So, to be honest, the objection that gets me the most at the moment, like, it's pretty much the only one I get, is when they're too caught up on, like, the money, like the logistics of it. Mm-hmm. But we can, like, finance it down to, like, pretty affordable. And I know some people do genuinely live paycheck to paycheck, but, like, when they're like, oh, I can't do $70 a month, $100 a month, and they're just kind of caught up on the logistics, I can't really overcome that, I guess.
So the logistics of the money, meaning, like, that's not logistics of money. It's more of a case of, how do I make you investing this money into your family, into yourself, into your future? How do I create enough value in that this is the only decision that you make?
Yeah.
So that objection that you're talking about isn't actually money, it's actually value. Right. In a sense of, is your value, meaning what you want to offer, worth $100 for that person to take care of themselves for the rest of their life? So, like, when you get to money, you gotta, like, make it about value and what that person is going to get out of it. So give me the objection. So, like, whatever it may be, what is it?
Yeah, I just really can't afford $100 a month right now.
Right, and let's say you, I don't know, broke down that they can afford it. Do you know what I mean? Let's say you went through some sort of framework that we know that they can afford it, or, like, how would you finance that?
They do it through, like, Sezzle or Klarna, like.
Yeah, what I mean is, like, when you have the conversation with them,
yeah, that's why I get caught
can?
up on. That's why I get caught up on, like, figuring out if they can or not. That's what I'm sort of caught up on.
Right. Okay. So the first thing is, you got to be very, very clear on this. So when it comes to value, we got to be clear in a sense of, like, when you go through your frameworks and stuff, do you ask questions of, like, what are you spending $100 on a month on? Do you eat out 4 times a week? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you gamble? Concern, you gotta help that person create money in their life. Right. Yeah. So it's going to be a case of, like, do you smoke? how many cigarettes do you smoke a day? So do you do a lifestyle kind of questionnaire?
No. No.
I would be doing this subtly if I was in your offer, because that's going to create enough money to be very clear that they can afford it, which is the value. So for argument's sake, when you're having a conversation with them and they say, I just can't afford $100,
Yeah.
but they go out 3 nights a week and they drink Sunday day and they smoke 20 fags a day. How much money do you think they spend a month on all that?
200-300.
200-300 a week, more like.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 1.5 a month. Because like you go out here in London, you have 8 pints.
Yeah.
£6 a pint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that 4 times a month. You go out twice for lunch or for dinner, talking $25 a head, £25 a head.
Yeah.
You'd be very surprised like how much money people spend on shit that they don't actually get any benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would be doing is I would be figuring out very, very clearly on the call, can I find money in this person's day-to-day life?
Yeah.
Can I find money that they spend without them actually understanding? So things like new clothes that they may not need, cigarettes, beer, meals out. Do they shop in Whole Foods instead of their local supermarket? Are they buying 3 coffees a day in work? You know, are they, having a takeaway breakfast instead of bringing a breakfast? Are they, grabbing food on the way home, on the drive home? Yeah. If you really get into the nitty gritty of the money and how much people are losing, you'll find it $100 a month. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And then it's a case of how do I make this value?
Yeah. And is that throughout the whole call, like you're getting those things, or could you do that in objections, like start going through like?
No, there's no point doing it in objections, because if you do it in objections, then it's an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do it in objections, it's going to be more of a case of, well, you're spending $100 on cigarettes, why don't you give me $100? That has to be ingrained. Yeah. It has to be ingrained in a sense of like, can I ask, like, when you feel that you're spending $100 a week on cigarettes, do you think that's benefiting your, your goals, or like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
What are they going to say?
It's not.
No, of course it's not. And like, if you were to redirect that $100 into a potential plan to go and help change your life, would that be something you would consider moving forward, or how do you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you plant the seed, before you hit objections, then it's an agreed agreement.
Yeah, I think it's the lifestyle ones I struggle with, because when they say like, I was spending this on medication, I do that. I'm like, how long have you had diabetes? Oh, 10 years. How long have you spent over that 10 years? 25 grand. Mm-hmm. So that would save you this amount if you was able to get off that medication. I've done like that sort of seeding.
Yeah.
But not really like the eating out, cigarettes, alcohol.
It's like I tell you this, right? Anyone that's on your call can definitely afford to take $100 out of miscellaneous that they're taking out of their life without us even realizing.
Yeah.
Like, for argument's sake, I went out today and I bought, coffee, protein shake, coffees for all of us. I'm probably down 30K. I'm probably down £30 already today without even realizing it. What did I buy? 6 drinks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We'll go for lunch, I'll spend another £100. So I'm down 130 quid today from nothing. Do you understand? So money is everywhere. If we take out the confusion, we make it very clear, and then we bring it and tie it into the value. I think that's going to be a big thing for you, is finding money in how they live their life and what they do every day.
The one question I was going to ask is, it's more just interest. What do you feel the biggest fear you've overcome yourself?
Oh, Jesus. The biggest fear that I've ever had to overcome myself?
Yeah.
I think every entrepreneur is the exact same. It's the imposter syndrome. It's the syndrome of, it's never enough and I'm never good enough. And it just even sounds weird. It's never enough, I'm never good enough. I don't think I've ever heard that. But if I have, Ollie, let me know. If I've not, I've just created it. I'm never enough and it's never good enough. If I've just come up with that, Ollie, it's absolutely a pinger. And it's really important though, like you meet any great entrepreneur, they say the exact same thing in some different form of variation. So the biggest fear that I've had to overcome is believing that you're good enough, and also working hard enough that you don't feel you're good enough. You know, that's what I do 7 days a week. Like, I just spent the whole weekend talking shop. You know, I had to drive 2 hours for a fucking meeting. Then I had to come back to London on Sunday. I'm here today with you. Tomorrow it goes again.
Yeah.
And it's relentless all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's that. It's never enough and it's never good enough. So the biggest thing that I've had to overcome, and the biggest thing I overcome every day, is fighting the urge to pack it all in, because you are in a position where, you know, you don't think you're good enough to do it, you know. And that's why I work so hard, and that's why I'm relentless with it. That's why I focus on all of your results as a metric to understand how good I am and what I'm doing for you guys. You know, I don't focus my metric on making money. I don't focus that on the standard of how well the business is. A lot of people want to focus their business on how much money it makes rather than how much money you help other people make.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing about goals and the things about what you said earlier on is if you say it now, you've got to back it up.
Yeah.
And that's why people shrink away from their goals. That's why people shrink away from actually telling people, because if they say it and they don't achieve it, then what do they just become?
A liar.
A liar.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of liars out there. Yeah. There's a ton of liars out there that say big dreams, big goals, and produce fuck all. And they always get found out.
Yeah.
And if you're a true entrepreneur, it's never enough and you're never good enough, you know. And that's what I feel every day. Yeah. And like everything that I give you guys, which, like on your arm, you know what I mean? Or it's like the 0-0 analogy. It's the fucking piece of rice from one place to another. It's the 100 in, 1 out.
Yeah.
All that stuff I have to tell myself every day as well. You know, I live by that code every day too. You know, when I tell you guys to take care of yourself mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, you know, go to the gym, read, you know, take care of yourself in terms of your nutrition, take care of yourself in terms of drinking and, you know, all of the other stuff. I'm actually just telling myself. And all of you get to come along for the ride. You know, that's the key, you know. Happy?
Yeah. Obviously my income's over 10x'd already and I'm not done, I guess you could say. So it just has reframed me in like my capability and what I can actually achieve, and like I say, like it's pretty much just set me up to say, oh, I can really change the rest of my life. And I'm 20 years old, so sky's the limit really. You can't be congruent if you're nervous to invest in yourself, nervous to take action, nervous to grow. You don't really have the right to jump on a call and tell someone else to do it if you're not able to do it yourself.
You have fun?
Yeah.
You have a good time?
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you were the first person to ever be invited to my home. You're only downhill from here. See ya. We just had the pleasure of having Dan the Man Smyth with us all afternoon. Such a great kid, tremendous workhorse, someone that will do very, very big things in sales. 20 years of age, making nearly 20,000 a month. It's fucking wild. And he's got years of growth, he's got years of development, he's got years of getting better. And as long as he stays active, as long as he stays humble and, you know, stays in a game of wanting to develop, sky's the limit for all of these guys. What I want to do, I want to give back. I want to let these guys see the path. I want to let these guys have the information, have the skill set. There's no point me just having it and taking care of myself. See, a lot of you out there want to just take care of yourself. A lot of you sales trainers out there and coaches, you want to just take care of yourself. But there's a bigger fucking plan there. There's a bigger world. There's a bigger mission. And it's about the people, and it's about making everybody okay. It's about taking care of everybody's family. With the education, the skill set, with the objection box, we can change generations. We can give new people coming up in these families a vehicle of a path and inspiration and drive and passion. And it only takes one. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to win more than ever. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about what we do, you want to learn more about who I am, there's going to be a link in the description or on this video somewhere. Jump into the community box. It's called the Objection Box Community. jump into the community box, and we'll coach, we'll train, we'll educate you, we'll give you the steps, show you what we do, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and to like and comment. I appreciate that. The more you guys do it, the more we will pour our resources into YouTube and building out information and education for you guys. So don't forget to do that. I really appreciate if you can subscribe and help us grow the community and help us help a ton of people. That's my legacy. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing. And hopefully you guys can see it over the next 10, 15, 20 years. And hopefully I've earned your loyalty and respect to help you and your family along the path and along the way. So thank you very much. Goodbye.